Hello everybody, the Lost Joker here, and this is the first time I've ever made a video like this. I usually just do live streams of video games, and if you are watching me for the first time, please check out my channel if you like video game live streams. That being said, I heard news today that I could not contain myself. I needed to do what I'm going to call a rant, and this rant is called Why Sony Doesn't Deserve Spider-Man. Let's get started. So a little bit about myself. I grew up in the 90s. I was born in 1987, and my first superhero that I read comic books of and fell in love with was Spider-Man. I watched the cartoon. What you're watching right now is the 90s Spider-Man cartoon. I loved it. It was my favorite thing in the world. I didn't get into Batman and other superheroes till much later in my teen years, but when I was a kid I'm talking about, Spider-Man was my boy. I was also a gamer, and that being said, I played a lot of Spider-Man games over the years. I grew up playing games like these. I played Maximum Carnage back in the day, and even when they went to 3D for the first time like this, it was amazing. I remember even this first Spider-Man game, it was Spider-Man 1, based on the first movie, there was no ground even. It was only building tops, level-based platformer kind of thing. And then I think Spider-Man 2, possibly 3, was the first time you could go down to the street. And it was amazing. I love Spider-Man games. I have played each Spider-Man game that has come out since I was born, except for the most recent titles. And I'll get into that in a minute, and that's part of my spiel here, but I just want to get there naturally. So, love the Spider-Man games. Been playing them for years. The Spider-Man movies back in the day that Sony did weren't that bad. Spider-Man 1 and 2 was pretty good. Doc Ock, I mean, look at this. This was great. This was such a good movie, I feel. Spider-Man 3 was the first time that I looked at Sony and went, what are you doing with my favorite character? Because they ruined not only Peter Parker's character in that film, but Venom. This is not Venom. That's not what Venom looks like. Oh my god, I can't even look at it. I don't know the decision making that went into this movie, but like whoever thought that Venom should just be Topher Grace with a black suit on, it was ridiculous. But at least they nailed the part where he was Venom because Eddie Brock hated Peter Parker, and the suit was rejected by Peter Parker, and so it hated Peter Parker as well, and when they joined forces, they became Venom. They got that right, at least, but everything else about it was bad. They did the opposite in their more recent Venom title. They got the look down, but completely forgot about the character development. I don't understand. How are you going to have a Venom origin story without Spider-Man and Peter Parker? The whole point of Venom is that he hates Peter Parker and Spider-Man. This is just, you have just a dude who, I don't know. That being said, it had cool moments. Venom had cool moments in it, but the overall story arc itself was terrible. And they missed such an opportunity. It upset me to no end. Marvel's hand in Spider-Man, on the other hand, was amazing. This is the only time I feel Sony did anything good was with their films working with Marvel. Homecoming, Endgame, Infinity War, and Endgame. The Avengers films where Sony, allowed Spider-Man to be in it. These were amazing films. And they were done well. I will even say, Into the Spider-Verse was amazing. But again, that was Marvel doing the writing and Sony just making the bank. I don't really know the minutia of it. I wasn't there. I wasn't part of I'm not a businessman, so I don't know how it worked out. But I know for a fact that it wasn't Sony making the decisions for the story. You know what I mean? This movie was amazing. Into the Spider-Verse was so good. I also forgot to say why Spider-Man. One of the reasons Spider-Man was my favorite superhero when I was a kid. Spider-Man was the first character that introduced me to the concept of alternate timelines, other dimensions, other versions of yourself. Every superhero has gotten to that point now. Everyone has gone down that road of there's alternate me's. But Spider-Man, in my opinion, was the first to do it and perfected it. They're still doing it now, and it's amazing because they don't take it too seriously. Now let's get into why I'm furious. Furious! The latest Spider-Man video games to come out, or the last one that came out, 2018 or 19 Spider-Man, was released as a PlayStation-only game. So you'd have to own a PlayStation or purchase a PlayStation to play this game. This is the first Spider-Man game I have not been able to play because I refuse to support a company that is selfish and greedy with their content. I don't understand how this profits them at all. Wouldn't they make more money by releasing the game on also Xbox and PC? They own the rights to the character. They'd get all the money from the game sales. It makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me. Sorry, I got really upset for a moment. It makes no sense to me whatsoever that they would not release the Spider-Man game even maybe later on PC. Haven't heard that at all. And it's also going to be a PlayStation exclusive. I'm not going to be able to play this game. It's the first Spider-Man games, also made by Insomniac. I've played their other games. I've been playing Spider-Man games, I've said it a million times, my whole life. And now these two Spider-Man games, which not only look like the best Spider-Man games ever made, they look amazing. I can't play them. I'm not going to spend $400 whatever dollars on a PlayStation. I'm so mad at this company. And now here today, this is why I made this video. I don't know if you guys have seen the new Avengers video game coming out. It reminds me a lot of like Ultimate Alliance from back in the day. I used to play a lot of that with my friend, and I loved it. And Marvel Avengers looks like a very fleshed out, modern version of that, with loot and gear and appearance items, different characters. You level them up. The replayability is through the roof. And that's why I was kind of excited about it. People were making kind of a stink because they don't look like the characters. They don't look like the actors from the films. But I never assumed this title had anything to do with the film series. This is just another one of those universes. A different Marvel universe. And today, it was announced that... let me first say this. When I first heard about this game, I was excited at the prospect of new characters being added later, one of which possibly Spider-Man. I was like, man, if this game was multiplayer, I would really love to play as Spider-Man all the time. I would love to gear him out, learn his moves, and be the Spider-Man of the team. I am excited by that idea. And it was announced today. I'm literally about to cry about it. Oh my god. It was announced today that Spider-Man will be in the game, but only on PlayStation. It is the greediest, most selfish thing I have ever heard. I cannot believe... They're literally saying, you can't play as him, to me, because I'm not a Sony subscriber. Excuse my language, but fuck you, Sony. I am sick of this shit. I am sick of how Sony is treating people, and I'm a Spider-Man fan. This is not fair to us. I can't believe they went through with this decision thinking they would not face backlash. Exclusive skins, fine. But making a character only on a... You must know that there's people who don't own PlayStations who are huge Spider-Man fans. I'm sure these corporate idiots think, well, anyone who's a Spider-Man fan would definitely own a PlayStation because he's owned by Sony. Why wouldn't they? Because I'm sick of how you're using the character to try and make money. It is clear to everyone that your only thing you have in your pocket is Spider-Man, and you are using it. You are using it to try and milk money. It doesn't even make sense. You'd make more money having it on all consoles. I'll pay you money to play Spider-Man. I'll pay 10 extra bucks to play as that character, but you're just going to not even let us? I'm done with you, Sony. I'm done. Sony does not deserve Spider-Man. Thank you for listening to my rant. Please remember to like, subscribe, and follow The Lost Joker on Twitch and YouTube. Definitely tune in next time for more rants.